Hello, good morning and welcome back to Visit Fowl Coast. It's beach clean day today. And I can't possibly do anything that requires anything other than standing straight because my penalty leg's hurting today. So I've left Kevin up there, look. Where's he gone? I've lost him. I left Kevin up there mending the notice board. And I'm going to take you for a little walk around the beach because it's ages since we had a walk on the beach. So I thought we'd go and have a look and we'll go and see what's occurring. So I've got my scratchy old shoes on so I can walk in the sludge and on the pebbles and whatnot. So we'll go and have a look. So make sure that you've subscribed. Make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications, and don't forget to sign up for your Visit Fowl Coast email newsletter, which you can get at visitfoulcoast.info/newsletter. So we'll go and have a look around this lovely beach, shall we? I think I might not actually, because it's coming in. The tide's coming in and I've only got my shoes on, so I'm not going to go right out to the tide line. But we'll have a wander around and see what's to do. So let's go see what we can see. Right, we're down on the sludge now. Well, it's not sludge actually. It's just wet. And I'm wondering if I can manage to get across. If I can manage to get across here, if it's not too deep. I think I ought to put my wellies on really, didn't I? There's loads of blue sky, but yet we're in the cloudy bit. It's up there somewhere. Look at that very big black one. Needs to move on by. I think we can get across here. Now I think, can you see? There's a channel here. And then this sand here forms a crest. And the sea is, you can't see the edge of the sea because it's in a bit of a dip down there. That's how you get cut off on a beach. So when it starts coming in, which it is doing now, it will come round the back of this sandbank and fill this channel. And then you'll end up with this channel really deep and really fast flowing. And then you're wading up to your neck to try and get back across it, which is never a good idea, especially if you're on a day trip and you've got your tidy clothes on, because you're going to be going home in your car absolutely sodden wet through and drowned. You can just see there, though, there's a little glimmer of water cutting across the sand, and that's where it comes through, and it comes round and it fills all this channel where it's still holding water, and this sand all ends up a dry sandbank. So that's your Government Health Service warning for this morning. So I thought we'd start with a little look at this pole, because when they put this pole in, it seemed to be ever so tall, and I think it's shrunk. It's not actually shrunk, it's the sand that's come up. It's the beach that's starting to build up, which it's intended to, as part of the Wire Beach Management Project. It's definitely not as tall as it was. The beach is definitely higher. I can remember standing at the bottom of it and looking upwards, and it looked like the Jolly Green Giant. And when you think, I mean, I'm kind of like, what, 5'6"-ish, so 5'6" is about there. And then when you look all the way up there, that's some depth of water, isn't it, at high tide? That is some depth of water. Goodness me, it's got barnacles on it already. It's only been in here. Everything colonises and makes a home for itself, and you can just see Blackpool look in the distance. There's the tower there. And North Pier. It's ever so clear this morning. My dad always says it's clear when it's going to rain. I think he's got a point, actually. Although that's lovely out there. Right, let's get off this sandbank before it starts coming in any further, any faster, because my very, very old trainers, let me show you my trainers, my trusty, lovely trainers. These are my lovely trainers that I wear for beach cleaning. You can see I put my toe through on that one, look. And these trainers I must have had at least 30 years. And the bottom's gone through. I've got a hole in the right one, which is very distressing to me. And the tops are split in various places, but they're comfy. And it doesn't matter if I get them mucky. But it's not ideal kind of going through water and getting water inside the shoe because, as I said, it's got a hole in the bottom. So let's see if we can get across here without me ending up with my feet wet through. Perhaps I ought to have gone back where we came, didn't we? So these are all our gang, look, that are all litter picking. Oh, I've come wrong way. Let me see if I can tiptoe through these ridges without getting the bottom of my shoe in the water. If I've got the bottom of my shoe in the water, that's, oh, I can feel that going straight through into my sock. Oh, that wasn't a very good idea, was it? So this shingly line here that you can see, there's a faint line of shells. This is where you tend to get sea glass collecting. So if you're a big fan of sea glass, you can pick your bits up in that kind of area. Let's see if there's any visible today. Can't see any. And you can see how much the beach has built up. Look how steep that is. That's quite amazing, that, isn't it? It's on quite a slope. You can see how much it's built up already. This little line of rock straight in front of us is the first phase of the Wyre Beach Management Scheme. So they're building a series of groins which will join up to these rocks that they've placed in a line across the end of the sea wall, and that will encourage the beach to build up. It'll get rid of a lot of this channel and make it safer. Excuse me. It'll make it safer, and then the high beach protects against overtopping, but it also protects against erosion of this sea wall. Look how much it's dropped. When you think last year when they did these rocks that go in a line that way, they completely covered all that up, and it's all being chopped out by the waves. But these rocks go down ever such a long way, and at that end, at the right hand end where the little dogs just run round, there's quite a considerable amount of sand built up already. That's amazing. And despite what some people might think, they're actually really popular, these rocks. At a weekend, there's always people looking around them and looking to see what they can find and looking for wildlife, because it all becomes a home for wildlife. Look at this already. It's not been in long, it's only been in a few months, and it's already starting to become covered in seaweed. There's even some barnacles starting to grow on this one. Look at that. That's amazing. How things colonise and create life. So this sort of bottom end of the groin is more your intertidal area, so it's covered more often, more times during the day, and then as you get up here, it's kind of more dry more often. So there's not really much growing on these rocks yet, but it's amazing how this beach is already building up. If you stand here and look down there, look at that. And you can see how that's going to join up to that level and create a higher beach that protects against flooding. And it also stops the sea wall from being undermined as well and eroded. Fascinating. Look at this lovely clean sand. There's a few shells, there's not a million. Some cockles, and I'm just seeing an oyster shell as well. I like scrummaging around to see what there is. The honeycomb worm reef was all exposed this morning. That's in the next, it's in the next sort of bay outwards. And that's a tiny little worm that creates massive expanses of reef. It's amazing. Mr. Jellyfish waiting for some water to come back in and collect him. You get blooms of jellyfish when the water warms up. We haven't had any that I know of this year. I don't think it's been warm enough. But usually in summer, when it gets warm, it brings them on shore, and they kind of reproduce and multiply, and you get lots of them. You can see that, look, how there's a bow on that sand, and when that rock will join up to that platform, and then from the right side of the platform, the rocks will join up to the rocks up there. And when that's all joined up, this build-up of sand that currently comes to there and then dips again will carry on in a straight line like that all the way up to the rocks at the top there. So what is currently a bit of a dip in the beach here will fill in, and the beach level will all rise up. It's all done by science. All done by science. So if you've been on Cleveleys Beach, you're probably thinking that these are a bit of an eyesore and a bit of a failure. Well, these are the bottom layers. So these have been cast. These go down quite a long way, and they've been cast in ordinary concrete. And you can see how ordinary concrete just washes away with the sea. So if you were laying a concrete drive or something, this is the kind of stuff that you would put down, which, as any builder will tell you, is really, really solid and really difficult to get up. But you can see how rough the water is and the effect it's had on it. So this is the bottom layers of this crossover ramp. So there is more concrete to go on top, which will be laid in a super strong mix, which is also super expensive, which is why they use it just for topping off. And then that super strong mix will be your top layer, which is more resistant to the erosion of the sea. It's all very clever stuff. There's always a reason. There's always a reason for everything that they do. Goodness, I'm nearly at the tank traps. I've been wandering about. I don't really want to walk on the pebbles. It's not good for my penalty leg. But I don't want to walk in a wet dip either, because that's not good for my foot. You're going to get a wet foot. These pebbles are a lot more interesting than you'd think they are as well. There's all kinds of different types. These ordinary grey ones, these ordinary plain grey ones, of which there are millions, came down. I don't know if you can see it properly, but that's the Lake District area up there in Barrow. So they came down from up there. They were pushed by the ice flows when the last ice age happened. So there's all different types and all different bits. So there's some granite. I believe that's a granite. That's a granite, that one. So our little bits of offcuts that have come off the workers that have been working there, they will round and tumble and rumble and become pretty little pebbles. These, if you've been watching Visit Fylde Coast for any length of time, these are created by little buggies, animals, etc. And they bore into the porous limestone rocks and absorb the stone for their own bodies and shells and what have you. And that's made by something called a borean piddock, which right appealed to my childish sense of humour. And two nice little bits of stone, aren't there? Let me stand up before my penalty leg packs in. It's amazing what you find. So this strand line is full of seaweed, and it's all wet and buggy. And this is where the bugs breed. And then you end up with birds and animals coming after the bugs. That is a brick. It's a tumbled and rumbled brick. That's another one, look there, that little red one. So there's razor shells, lots of feathers, all kinds of everything. I'm going to go up this step here, this ramp, and I'm going to show you the information board about the pebbles, because this one at this end has got all the information on about all the different ones. We've had a bit of foam over it as well this week with all the wind. So you can see how these pebbles all look the same colour, and they've all gone white. And that's because the tide's not being up, but the foam has, so it's kind of covered them in salty foam. Oh, hey, by gum. That's better. Terra firma. So there's a series of signboards across here that were all done by our Russell Beach group, and they all explain different things. So this is the stones one. So there you go. So that tells you which ones they all are. So the grey ones came down on the ice sheet. Number 4 is a bit of brick. Number 3 is basalt, the black one in the middle. Number 2 is a piece of granite formed from crystallised molten magma. And number 5 at the bottom, the little green ones, are the sea glass. There's loads of shells on there as well. Here's another one, all about what lives in the sea. These are the little sea gooseberries, these, which are a kind of a little marble shaped thing. They're tiny, they're only about that kind of size. Unrelated to jellyfish, but look like jellyfish. Often see seals, maybe not baby ones with a beautiful fur coat like that, but often see seals. And you'll see cat and dogfish as well, washed up on the beach, especially when they've been fishing. Oh, that's lovely now, sun's come out. Look, the noisy rabble are all starting together with the bags. Let's go and see what Kevin's doing and whether he's managed with his locks. He's been fixing the locks on the notice board. Smile, you're on candid camera. Have you fixed it? Have you fixed it?
Yeah, I did. Good health. Should be alright now, Paul. Lovely. At least you've got a video.
So there you go. That's a morning on Russell Beach at Cleveleys. They're still litter picking. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. Don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed, make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications, and don't forget to sign up for your newsletter. Oh, there's another one here. Look, I'll just show you this before I sign off. And that's all about seaweed and plants and what grows on the beach. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye for now.